rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host Dirk God Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. The rules are simple. Two people begin entering the ring of our discourse, and another person enters every minute thereafter. At any point during the rumble, when a competitor is thrown over the top rope to the floor surrounding the ring, or submits to or gets pinned by an opponent in the rumble, they are eliminated. Once all 19 people have entered the fray, our Monday Night Rumble continues until all but one has been eliminated. That person is declared the winner of the discourse. Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. What's up, folks? Raven Mac back at you with another Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. We took last week off for the spring equinox in the ways of our pre-Columbian ancestors. Just a reminder that no matter who you are, you have some pre-Columbian ancestors. Don't let your American empire sense of identity overwhelm you. We are looking at a recap of 2 weeks ago, which was our last event. Video footage is a little splotchy. We had a little bit of an accident in the concrete factory that we use for our arena. You can see President Biden coming out. This actually saw President Biden win for the second time. He was the first person to win Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse for a second time. When we got down towards the end, the final four, you can see Non-Fungible Token got eliminated, made their debut. We got a number of comments, actually. You can see a super blue check here is pinned by the Libertarian. We got a number of comments about lack of female representation in the discourse and how females have not fared well. So that's something that we'll keep in mind here this week. When we got down to the final four, you can see Bernie Bro got eliminated here. We had Shapiro, the Libertarian, the Joe Rogan podcast fan, and President Biden were all in there. They were the final four. Libertarian pinned Ben Shapiro and then immediately got knocked over the top rope. At one point, President Biden, Joe Rogan podcast fan, and the Libertarian were all on the apron. They got back in. Came down to the final two of Joe Rogan podcast fan and President Biden, both of whom had won the discourse once before, so one of them was going to be the first to win it twice. Biden kicks out of a pin attempt here. Here a second later, Joe Rogan podcast fan still has the advantage, throws Biden into that ladder. Somehow Biden flings around here and gets a suplex belly to belly on Joe Rogan fan and gets the pin, wins the discourse for the second time, got those stimulus checks out. Everything is all peaches and cream for President Biden. So what that means is we come here live tonight for our next event this week. Tech Lord in there is your referee. President Biden has said he wants to come out first, saying he's won the discourse twice, that he's not as worried about having to win it a third time because he's ahead of everybody else. He says he's staked his spot in the discourse, climbing one of those meritocracy ladders, so he is going to come out first. And it looks like Bernie Sanders is going to be coming out to face him first. So again, we're going to have 23 people coming out throughout the night, 1 minute increments. President Biden and Bernie Sanders are going to start this out. No love lost between these two, even though allegedly they're on the same side of things. It's hard to really tell with the Democrats currently who is actually on the same side, because the Democrats seem to be their own worst enemy, to be honest, which is bad because the Republicans are a pretty bad enemy to have in the first place. Tech Lord is your referee again, controlling the flow of the discourse through his use of algorithms. Biden and Bernie going at it. Once again, the ring is filled with lobbyist money loaded in the briefcase, and there are a number of meritocracy ladders, which Bernie just slammed Biden into. Biden grabbing that knee. And we're about to get our first buzzer and another competitor to join these two. Let's see who it is. Looks like it's going to be Senator Mitch McConnell, old mean Mitch from Kentucky. He's coming in. So we've got two aging senators, and Bernie and Mitch McConnell, and former senator and current president Joe Biden. Pin attempt on Bernie, kick out. So these three are starting the discourse out for us tonight. Same figures, same old men, same people making the same decisions. No matter how chaotic the discourse gets, ultimately it comes down to some old white-appearing dudes making all the decisions. Here comes a buzzer, and saying Andrew Yang, presidential candidate in 2020, brought universal basic income to the public discussion, which as we got into the pandemic shutdown, that became way more relevant. Yang is actually running for mayor in New York City, and actually was pretty prominent in the discourse last week after the shootings in Atlanta, talking about anti-Asian hatred going on. Biden tried to pin Yang pretty quickly there. Four of these guys are going at it. Good to see Andrew Yang in there. I know a lot of young folks were really into that UBI conversation and part of that Yang gang, for lack of a better term. And we got a buzzer and verified blue check 2. Man continually pumping out the op-ed pieces supporting the state, regularly featured in Washington Post, New York Times, talking about how the stimulus package is one of the greatest victories the president has ever had. Again, I'm not sure the reality of a verified blue check is saying Biden over the top rope. He gets back in. I'm not sure the reality of a verified blue check matches that of the regular person. I'm not even sure how you get a verified blue check. Like, what causes someone to be a verified blue check? Like, how some of these people I've never heard of, and they have a verified blue check, and I don't. It's like a whole class status that I'm not even aware of. Well, we got a buzzer, and oh, looky here, making his debut in the discourse. And I'm be honest, I'm a public school, rural South public school educated person. I don't know how to pronounce things all the time. Pete Buttigieg. Biden got eliminated there. Pete Buttigieg. I've always said booty gig, but let's just call him Pete Bourgeoisie. Bernie over on the apron, and Yang missed him. We're going to call him Pete Bourgeoisie because this man is like a gentrified neighborhood come to life in human form. And he throws that verified blue check into the ladder. I will give Pete Bourgeoisie credit, though. He's got the wrestling attire on like a fighter. Bourgeoisie made, well, here comes Reply Guy. Pete Bourgeoisie made the news this past weekend for suggesting that transportation infrastructure could be supported by charging drivers by the mile, which is a ridiculously short-sighted punishment of rural America, which for a party that is claiming is trying to reach out to rural America, that's about the dumbest way you could do it. Reply Guy coming in, he's from that southern part of Facebookiana, and actually I was driving through there last week, and I happened to pass Reply Guy's house, and he's already got a Trump 2024 sign in his yard. So that's that rural American that Pete Bourgeoisie is reaching out to, saying he's going to tax him by the mile. And here comes the buzzer. And Senator Kyrsten Sinema, Arizona senator, first woman to come out tonight. I mentioned how we got some complaints about the representation of females in the discourse, how they hadn't won one yet. Sinema becomes the first female to enter, and she brings an extra ladder in the ring. She's been one of the two Democratic senators who have been obstructionist to some of these Democratic things, ending the filibuster, stimulus package, minimum wage debate. Famously did a little jig when she thumbs down to vote on the minimum wage. So not the most progressive senator the Democrats have is Kyrsten Sinema. And we got a buzzer, and it's another woman, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. She's out. Looks like we've got almost everybody other than Biden Well, there's a pin, and Verified Blue Check has already pinned Kirsten Sinema. So 2 women in and 1 of them already out. So Sinema joins Biden in being eliminated. There's another pin attempt. Reply Guy pins Nancy Pelosi right away. So the men teaming up to eliminate the women right away. And Verified Blue Check pins Bernie Sanders as well. So that Verified Blue Check has eliminated a couple of people rather quickly here. And we're down to 5 men again. We got Mitch McConnell, Andrew Yang, Pete Bourgeoisie, the Reply Guy, Verified Blue Check 2, and now this Antifa member called Not an FBI Agent joins the mix as well. That Not an FBI Agent going right after Pete Bourgeoisie. Andrew Yang over the top rope. Mitch McConnell kicks him, and he is eliminated. So Andrew Yang has been eliminated. Good showing by Yang, though. He lasted for a while. Pelosi finally gets out the ring. McConnell is beating on that Verified Blue Check. Not an FBI Agent. Reply Guy going in, and Pete Bourgeoisie crawling around on the ground there. And we've got a buzzer. And it's that ominous music that means that Antifa Black Bloc is coming out. I always wonder if the Antifa is the same person each week because they wear that. Well, actually, yeah, the previous weeks, well, we got a pin in the ring. Verified Blue Check has pinned Reply Guy. But previous weeks, that Antifa Black Bloc has been a taller individual. This week, looks like a woman. Not an FBI agent is pinned. Looks like a woman with a ponytail is that Antifa Black Bloc this week. So we've had a number of pins here, and we're down to Mitch McConnell, Verified Blue Check 2, doing pretty well. Pete Bourgeoisie, and that Antifa Black Bloc, who's female appearing this week. Well, here comes the 3%er. And him and the Reply Guy are beating up on that Not an FBI Agent Antifa member there in the aisle, but the 3%er's coming out. Verified Blue Check submitted or pinned. I couldn't tell what happened. I was watching what was going on in the aisle. 3%er, of course, in the news. Gun rights in the news with multiple mass shootings yet again. I'm fatigued to even think about it. It's just tiring. I'm one of those people who thinks owning an assault rifle is stupid, but also that having the government take them might be stupid, and I think it's just such an idiotic, bad situation. I don't know how we get out of it. Well, and here comes the leftist gun boy. This is another proud gun owner, but a leftist, wearing those Adidas track pants. And for sake of full disclosure, the Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse is supported by my Patreon, Southern Gothic Futurism Patreon. You can check the link. Leftist Gun Boy is actually a supporter of my Patreon. He lives in East Tennessee, outside the Knoxville area. Has actually invited me to come shoot guns somewhere near Johnson City. So I have communicated with this leftist gun boy. I will say I do have issues sometimes because it feels like the leftist gun boy's attitude towards guns is that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is to have a good guy with a gun, and I'm not quite sure I agree with that. But again, like I said, it's such an idiotic, broken situation. I'm not even sure how to fix it, and I wish we had some sort of system of learned elders who could help us figure these things out because I don't know how to do it. Andrew Cuomo came out while I was rambling on one of my side tangents. Apologies if you don't care to hear that. Governor of New York survived still more sexual harassment accusations. He's going at that leftist gun boy there. Nice drop kick on the gun boy. Mitch McConnell looks busted open, fighting with that Antifa member. And McConnell's still in there. Been in there since almost the very beginning. Yeah, we've got a buzzer again. Yeah, AOC coming out on the heels of Andrew Cuomo, New York representative. AOC has started in her second term as a congresswoman, starting to move away from some of those progressive leftist ideas she had at first. It's sort of the problem with our political establishment is the longer you are in office, the more you move away from those ideals. Antifa almost got a pin on McConnell there. And Andrew Cuomo going for a pin on 3%er. Kick out. Crowded ring. A lot of punishment being meted out right now. And we've got a buzzer. And here he comes, Senator Ted Cruz. The canker sore of American politics. The leftist gumboy got pinned over there by Pete Bourgeoisie. That's a painful elimination for the leftist gumboy to be beaten by Pete Bourgeoisie, the rap boy. And Antifa Black Bloc got pinned in there. So we've got a couple senators, Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz. AOC, or House Representatives. 3%er just got eliminated. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Secretary of Transportation Pete Bourgeoisie. And here comes the Twitter communist. I'll be honest, I don't always agree with the Twitter communist. I think he's very short-sighted and overestimates his own intelligence, but I kind of love that guy. He's so goofy, always shares the most ridiculous memes. The ever-given ship being stuck in the Suez Canals. Twitter communist has been a source of much meme enjoyment for me in his Twitter feed, I have to admit. So Cuomo just got in some shots on Ted Cruz. Mitch McConnell still in there. Multiple meritocracy ladders, both set up and smashed down. And we got a buzzer, and it's Vice President Kamala Harris. AOC eliminated in there, pinned by, can't see who pinned them in there, but behind the ladder. Kamala Harris enters. Another pin here. Andrew Cuomo pins Pete Bourgeoisie. So a good first showing by Pete Bourgeoisie, but he is beaten by Andrew Cuomo. Does get a couple shots in, stomping on Cuomo afterwards. McConnell beating on Kamala Harris there. Kamala Harris going after that Twitter communist. So we still got two Republican senators, Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Vice President Kamala Harris, Twitter communist, and coming to join them, it's Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams, Georgia politician, really helped spearhead the voting drives that allowed those two senators to get elected in those runoff elections. Most likely would be Georgia governor, if not for the attempts to throw votes out. And of course, Georgia's legislature passed some voting regulations this past week, rather draconian and back to the civil rights era, and how they're going to be eliminating people from voting. Of course, the other side of that story is only letting people who should vote, but there's a sort of underlying classist racism behind that. Twitter communists out there on the apron with Andrew Cuomo and knocks him off, but Twitter communists is still on that apron dangerously. And we got a buzzer, and here comes that other obstructionist Democratic senator, Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia, not far from where I live. Joe Manchin, he comes in with one of those briefcases. He, of course, is swing vote on a lot of things. Kamala Harris on the apron. Ted Cruz knocks her off, so she is eliminated. Again, that female representation, women not doing well here tonight, have not won one of the Discourse. Stacey Abrams in there with 4 men, well, 3 men, because Mitch McConnell just got tossed by Manchin. So we've got Stacey Abrams in there with 3 men. And here comes the critical thinking punk. That obscure suicidal tendencies music playing, he comes running in with a chair. All he wants is a Pepsi, that old critical thinking punk. He's right on the Twitter communist. The tech lord, for some reason, climbing up and down one of those ladders. He's got that chair, that critical thinking punk. Oh, and he just nails Stacey Abrams in the back of the head. And she's eliminated. What a vicious shot by the critical thinking punk. So yet again, here we see it again. We're down to 4 men. We got 4 men, and I believe we still have 2 people coming in, but 4 men in the Discourse, all women eliminated yet again. Oh no. Oh God, why is this guy in here? The viral blue check, folks. The viral blue checks, you can recognize him perhaps by that stupid looking hipster mustache. This is a guy that had, again, I don't know how these people get to be verified blue checks, but this guy claimed to get shrimp tails in his cinnamon toast crunch. And of course, like a day later, about 3,000 women talked about how he's one of the most abusive men they were ever in a relationship with. This viral blue check has entered the discourse. I kind of want to leave the booth here and go hit him with a chair myself. How do these people get to be verified blue checks? Like, what have they done to be verified anything? All right, our last entrant. Oh, super blue check. So we do have one final female entrant. And there's a pin, Joe Manchin pinned by the critical thinking punk. So we have super blue check in there with 4 men. So 1 woman and 4 men. But she gets a quick pin on the critical thinking punk. So now it's 1 woman and 3 men. So let's see how this goes, folks. Critical thinking punk angrily suplexes her after getting pinned. And there's a bridge by the viral blue check on Manchin. He couldn't pin him, so we got the Twitter communist, viral blue check, Senator Ted Cruz. Senator Joe Manchin having trouble getting out of that, past that ladder. Senator Ted Cruz still in there, super blue check, viral blue check, and the Twitter communist. Twitter communist with a belly-to-belly on Cruz and a pin by blue check, and Ted Cruz is eliminated. So we're down to the final 3. We got 1 woman and 2 men. That super blue check, former editor Jezebel. Viral blue check, the guy who claims he got shrimp tails in his cinnamon toast crunch. And for some reason is verified blue check, even though I'd never heard of the guy before. And that Twitter communist, king of memes. And that's the discourse, folks. This is the discourse. You've got super blue check, viral blue check, and the Twitter communist just filling your timeline with a bunch of self-referential witticisms that you probably don't even think are funny. Welcome to America 2021. Tech Lord right there, engineering it all with his algorithms. There's a pin on the Twitter communist by a super blue check, kick out at 2. So none of these 3, viral blue check, this is his first time in, but none of these 3 has ever won the Monday Night Rumble of Discourse, so we're going to have a first-time winner tonight, folks. Super blue check nails viral blue check, and I hope to God it's not the viral blue check. That guy is insufferable. He's got that sledgehammer, and he's swinging at the Twitter communist with that sledgehammer. And he falls on the ladder, and super blue check's on him. Quick count, and viral blue check is eliminated. So now we're down to the Twitter communist and the super blue check, and Tech Lord's got some words for the Twitter communist in there. I don't know what that's all about. Telling the Twitter communist, putting him in his place. Super blue check with a dive off the ladder on the Twitter communist. Tech Lord's over there warning that viral blue check. Standing moonsault, kickback by the Twitter communist. They're over there in that corner. Twitter communist got super blue check up, holding her, drops her on that ladder, goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. The Twitter communist has won the Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Super blue check eliminated yet again. Not a woman winner. She nails the Twitter communist outside the ring. He's groggy there. So Twitter communist wins that Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse this week. Once again, folks, this is supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. Check that out. Support it for as low as $1 a month. I do a lot more than just these videos. That's patreon.com/RavenMac. You can Google Dirt God Raven Mac. This has been your Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse for this week. We should be back next week. Hopefully we get a woman winner at some point. I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. But I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Salam.